Good morning and aloha. Welcome to Swell Health Coaching's video number 3, where I'm going to be talking about the surfer's shoulders. Before that, though, if you haven't checked out the first 2 videos, I recommend that you do that because I talk about the nature of health coaching and how the field is evolving into our healthcare systems. And I talk about how Swell came to be and a little bit about my background. If you're interested in learning even more about Swell and the Health Coach Client Partnership, feel free to give me a call at 808-250-2587 or email me at swellhealthcoaching@gmail.com. From there, we can set up a free 15-minute consultation to get to know each other a little better and see if we would be a good fit. So now let's move on to the surfer's shoulder. Today is my first video where I actually don't have any notes because I found the literature on the surfer's shoulder extremely fascinating, and I thought about it and read it and thought about it and read it over the course of a few months, and I still go back to it all the time. I wasn't really sure where to start with the information I want to put out there for the surfing community. So I came across this study that was done in December 2021. It's called A Systematic Review of the Surfer's Shoulder, and it's a compilation of 7 different reviews or studies that were now put together and looked at by a group of doctors and physicians and surgeons that make up an organization called Surfing Medicine International. You can find the link to their YouTube channel on the homepage of my YouTube channel because, like I said in a previous video, they were responsible for getting surfing into the Olympics, and now it's their goal to provide information on how every surfer can keep themselves safe and keep the sport of surfing, keep everyone healthy, keep everyone having fun, and mainly to keep everyone super, super safe because there's a lot going on out there. So a lot of the information I'm presenting is from their research, and I'm just breaking it down into little teeny pieces that's easy for us to digest after I've digested it because it can be a lot of information to take in. So this video, I just want to go over exactly what's going on with the surfer's shoulder because it's really unique, and I always thought it was something with my neck, or I don't know, I just knew I got tight a lot this way after surfing and got a lot of headaches. So it's really fascinating. What's happening is the front of your shoulder, so the internal rotators, front of your shoulder rotator, front of your rotator cuff, your internal rotators get really, really strong because the push and pull phase of surfing are both in the water. So as we go, we're doing push, pull. And then as we come out, we're in the recovery phase. So our external rotators, back of the shoulder socket, back of the rotator cuff, does not get that kind of resistance training that the front of the shoulder socket gets. So we're getting really strong up here and pretty weak back here. And it's creating a muscle imbalance, which is causing a problem in surfers called scapular dyskinesis, also known as the winged scapula. And I did notice this once I saw it, the literature that probably me and some of my friends in the past have. And I do know people that have shoulder surgery because they messed it up from doing things like surfing, body surfing. Um, and now I just want to spread more information about this because it is preventable and it can be fixed a lot of times, maybe without having to have surgery. Um, as long as you find a physical therapist or a surgeon that's knowledgeable in the biomechanics of surfing. So the winged scapula happens because your shoulder socket's being pulled in the front, causing your scapula to stick out in the back right here. So if you notice, you see some surfers or people, that even paddle canoe, but mostly in the surfer, they have it poking out their scapula in the back. So this is what's happening. It causes a lot of problems down the road and even in the short term. There are some specific exercises that you can do that involve stretching the front of the shoulder, strengthening the back of the shoulder, and moving your body in very dynamic range of motion movements, just like you would when you're actually riding a wave, all kinds of movements. Really fascinating. I have been implementing some of these exercises into my pre-surf and post-surf routine, and I will be demonstrating them on this channel as well. I just wanted to talk about what's going on with the surfer's shoulder, and now that you know what's going on, I also want to compare it to the thrower shoulder, which is different. The thrower is going to have a strong external rotator and a weak internal rotator because their propulsion phase is up here and their recovery phase is down here. So opposite muscle imbalance is going on there. And the surfer's shoulder is also different from the swimmer's shoulder and the canoe paddler's shoulder because when we're swimming, our body is actually moving in a sideways motion like this. And so we're using our obliques and our legs and our back muscles to help us pull through the water. Same with the canoe paddler. They're normally in a lunge position, so using a lot of the lower body muscles, and you get a big twisting motion right here. So not so much just relying on the shoulders. And that is actually why surfing is an extreme sport, because with the use of the board actually takes away our ability to move sideways in the water, so we're not able to use our back or our lower abs to help us paddle out there. And we can't kick, especially if you're on a longboard, because the board's in the way. So the muscles that are actually pulling us through the water is our pectoralis major and our triceps. That's it. That's what's pulling the surfer through the water. And that is why there's a thing called the surfer's shoulder, because over time it really, really does mess us up, causes a lot of complications, and can even lead to having to get shoulder surgery in the future. So please stay tuned for next week. I am trying to get in the habit of doing these videos every Sunday. So far, I'm on an every other Sunday streak. And you'll hear me talking a lot about habits and patterns as a health coach. That's a lot of what I do, is I use the fascinating science of behavior to basically hack away at our current patterns and replace them with more favorable, tiny habits that all support each other in the end. And if you're really interested in learning more about Behavior Science and Habits. A really good resource is BJ Fogg. He's the founder of Tiny Habits. You can just look him up, check it out, and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week where I'm going to talk about exercises you can do and when to do them, my experience with trying out these different things as I get back on the water in the right way myself. So, thank you so much. Happy Sunday. And if you're enjoying this video and the information's helping you, please hit that subscribe button down there and let me know that you're liking the content. I'll see you soon. Happy Sunday.